Welcome to this week's edition of The Passion of the Digital Artist. And here he is, that passionate digital artist himself, Jeff Mueller.
Xavier, how are ya?
I'm great, Jeff. How are you?
I am fantastic.
So tell us why you're fantastic.
Oh, we're coming off our first video blog back from, I would say, pretty much a vacation. Some good R&R, but we haven't talked about Artstrong and what happened that night. That it was a pretty big night.
It was a big night.
Well, the benefits of Artstrong. The benefits of being able to give and donate back to the community, and then also the benefits for me as an artist putting on events such as Artstrong. I would just like to cover those points of why you'd want to do it, what are the obvious reasons why someone would want to do something like this. I was able to get $50 in donations at the show, $25 through the tickets, and I said I would give 10% of $200, and it was roughly $250. So it's going to be a $100 donation to Ingenuity. I was hoping for a little bit more, but I was happy. I sold metal prints and regular prints through the show. I didn't sell any direct pieces. I wanted to wait a little bit to see if any of the pieces might have sold in the last 2 weeks, because it's been tomorrow will be 2 weeks since the show. But now that we're solidly 2 weeks away, and that didn't happen as far as selling original, I feel comfortable making the $100 donation to Ingenuity Cleveland for Ingenuity Fest, and I'll be doing that.
That's a nice donation.
Yeah, congratulations, Ingenuity Fest. I'm glad that I could do my part this year.
That's awesome.
So then that brings up to the couple of the surprises. What happened at the show, one, I surprised myself. I made a public appearance. Well, thanks everybody for coming tonight. I would like to thank Launch House for hosting this great event. It's been about a year in the making, and it's finally here, so it's like, thanks for coming. And the first one I want to do is, this is Misty Days at the Falls.
My favorite boys of all. That's work. Oh my god. I'm gonna cry if that one.
This particular painting.
Yeah, sure, go ahead, let's clap.
That's this painting here someplace else. Every artist has to do self-portraits, and I'm going to be doing a current one coming up. But she said, well, if you're going to do a self-portrait, why don't you do it in your prime? That's great. And you've always admitted that photo shoot didn't work. So why don't you just paint it so that it works? And so with that said, here it is. This is called Days Gone By.
I remember that one.
You do remember that?
Oh, I saw that one.
So feel free to go up and look at it, everybody. Thank you again for coming. And all of the donations from the tickets and everything, that goes directly to Ingenuity Fest. I'd like to thank Ingenuity Fest for their part in this. And then also anything that's purchased or bought tonight, I'm donating 10% of that also to Ingenuity. Thank you. And I kind of got the feel, being a smaller turnout, the people that did show, they really got a chance to talk to me one-on-one. And then I'd like to thank Stuart Smith for showing up. He's a blogger, and he goes around Cleveland finding events like Artstrong. He was there. He promoted it before he came. He promoted it while he was there. He stayed the whole time. It's great. It was great to meet Stuart in person. Had kind of hooked up with him through Twitter. He knew the people at Launch House, and he came down, and he really made the event a little bit more. It was more just something a little bit more special. I mean, it was just having him there. He was really putting the event out. That was kind of cool. He was Facebooking and Twittering the event, and I'd like to thank Stuart personally for that. And then also we did the first thing. We did a live stream, which was a kind of a fantasy of mine. But the next time we live stream, I think you and I, Xavier, will have that down. I mean,
we'll spend more time streaming than figuring it out.
Yes. But we did it, and that's something. And once again, that's one thing the only way you're ever going to go about doing anything is to go out and do it.
And I want to thank I want to thank everybody for coming. And I want to thank all those who helped. Awesome food presented by Dar and company at the Launch House, and thanks again for that. And then to your wife and children and everyone else who helped put things together.
And you.
Yeah, I was along for the ride. And I think the award for the furthest traveled goes to Ingrid Geronimo. What a wonderful lady.
Oh,
it was
yes.
so nice meeting her. And she came all the way from New Jersey to the show. So bless you, Ingrid, and it was a pleasure meeting you.
It was. It was definitely good seeing you again, Ingrid. And we'll just keep talking back and forth on Facebook and Twitter. You're just one of the you are now the top supporter. Anybody who drives from New Jersey to see me
my goodness, she's
number one.
She's top of the top. Yeah, yes. She is definitely your number one supporter. And thank you very much again. Good evening, folks.
For sure.
And here we are at the Shaker Launch House at the Artstrong show featuring Jeff Mueller and with Ingrid Geronimo.
Yes,
thank you for coming, Ingrid.
One of the best digital artists I know.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. It's all the way from New Jersey, right?
Yeah, I came all the way from New Jersey.
What a trip, huh?
I believe in him that much.
Thank you.
That is positively awesome, Ingrid. Thank you so much.
It's exciting.
All right.
It's exciting.
It is really exciting.
Yes.
People are starting to file in, and we're getting the show on the road here, folks. We have more. And also, want to thank Bruce Conforti for bringing artwork to display along with yours, and it was nice to have another professional artist there, and so we thank Bruce for his time and trouble.
For sure. Thank you, Bruce. Yes, it's wonderful. Bruce has been nothing but helpful and participated in the event.
Awesome.
So that brings me to the other aspect where after the show, then I hopped in the car the next day and drove to New York City. That weekend, had a great weekend with my wife's uncle and aunt and their children, Jim and Dancy. Shout out to Jim for putting up with us and showing us a really good time. Anytime we go to New York City and we stay with them, we always seem to have just a wonderful time. Thanks a lot, Jim and Dancy. And then we dropped my daughter off. She was flying out of Kennedy and headed off to the Middle East. And then from there we flew across and went north up to Boston, and I had my TV interview with Art Specifier, Joyce Krieger, and like Artstrong, another chance to get in front of people. And this TV interview will air locally in Boston, and then it'll be on the Art Specifier website, and then on YouTube, and then consequently on my website. But the talking at the show and getting interviewed, I really started to understand the importance of these video blogs, because when we started this, it was very difficult for me to express myself. I started off, and not to be animated, but the further that we went along, the more I was able to understand what I was trying to communicate to my fans or the people who watch the video blog. It was just became, I was able to start to express myself freely. And that was, at first, you got to admit, Xavier, it was difficult.
It was difficult because, you were a duck out of water. You weren't used to doing it. Now, doing that for the last 3 years, then you getting up before the crowd, which, we probably, I don't know how many were there, but there was more than a few. And a lot of people you'd never seen before, and you spoke to them just like if you were speaking to me. And so I think the 3 years of doing this blog together really has made you into quite the speaker and presenter.
They had all the professional cameras set up and the lighting with the backdrop. It was great going into the studio. I really enjoyed it. At the same time, I got a certain amount of admiration for what I'm doing here on the video blog, and that I wasn't expecting. And then they weren't expecting able to express myself, and in both cases, I mean, my wife, who is like my ultimate critic, she can barely watch me do these video blogs, and she was there presently, and afterwards, and she said that it was an 8.5 out of 10, and that's
about as good as you're going to get from your wife.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's like getting a 12 out of 10 from some normal person. But or that week between that Thursday and then the interview on the next Tuesday just really kind of elevated my confidence in being able to get, and really after doing that I want to do more. And that's the last thing I want to talk about. It's almost like a rush or a drug or something, and I just want to do more. Now, I took some time since we got back a week ago on Wednesday, and my 28th anniversary was this weekend, and your wife's
30th. This was quite the weekend in terms of, those of you that follow this blog know that our anniversaries are only separated by 2 days and 2 years.
Yep.
And so usually with Jeff and Rachel's being on the 24th and mine and Karen's being on the 26th, we usually get together on the 25th. And we did at Jeff's house this year and had a outstanding cookout with food galore that was just to die for, and lots of good beverages, lots of good talk, lots of neat people that came from Jeff's family, and it was just a great time.
I've got a lot of, stuff to add in, a lot of video, some video from New York, video from the MoMA Museum. It was just amazing to sit in front of Starry Night and just take in a painting that I have seen and understand why I've seen it through books and through art school and through grade school. It's an amazing painting when you get in front of it. And then there was 3 Edward Hoppers, all of them just jaw-dropping for me. Edward Hopper definitely now he would definitely be my motivation, and still, but I've really got to expand my knowledge of his career. So
the capture of people at a time and place in a setting was a big motivation for your social media, multimedia series.
And still to this date, I mean, I kind of have a connection with him. He was in advertising and an illustrator and trained that way and made a living that way somewhat in his early part of his career. So, and the same thing with me being in advertising, making a living illustrating and altering photography. So it was just overall just a great time. So that brings us to the end. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you, folks, and we missed you on Memorial Day. Thanks to all those that have served and continue to serve our country. You're the greatest.